imagine two freely selected cards from two separate spectators lost in the deck. The deck is divided into two, only for the chosen cards to be found at exactly the same position. This is a stunning display of harmony. This is CoachTrick. Welcome back to CoachTrick. Today's effect delivers twice the bang, rendering two spectators totally speechless. Best of all, this trick is entirely self-working, can be performed with a shuffle deck and requires absolutely no setup. As ever, stick with us to the end as we explore how mastering effects like this can give you the confidence to tackle the seemingly impossible in everyday life. Okay, let's jump into it. Grab a deck and let's go. Okay, as ever, let's kickstart then by taking a look at the effect itself. This is going to be a demonstration of two random selections that are impossibly linked. And we're going to start with a shuffled deck, so just hand those to the spectator. They can shuffle those as much as they like. The cards really are mixed. With that done, you're just going to hand the deck to a first spectator and you're going to invite them to deal off as many cards as they like to the table. It's a totally free choice, so they'll just deal some cards. Let's say they stop just there. You can invite them to deal some more if they like. It's totally up to them. Once they're happy, ask them to take a look at this card just here and to remember that as their selected card. So here we can see it's the 7 of clubs. To place that card back onto the pack and then to place the deck back on top, like so. You're now going to invite a second spectator to do exactly the same. So to take the deck, to deal any number of cards that they like to the table. Again, it's a totally free choice. They can stop whenever they like. Once they're happy, to take a look at this card and just remember this as their selected card. So here we can see it's the 8 of hearts. To place that back onto the pack and to place the deck back on top like so. You can now invite the spectator to give the deck a complete cut to make sure those cards are well and truly lost. With that done, we now have two randomly selected cards at totally random positions in the deck, as chosen by the spectators themselves. The deck has even been given a cut. There's absolutely no way that anybody could know the positions of the selected cards. You're now going to take the deck and you want to divide it into exactly two. So you're just going to deal the cards onto the table like so, into two separate piles, dealing one card on top of the other. And you're just going to continue like this for all of the cards. And this is going to make sure that we get two piles exactly the same. So just dealing the cards like so. And with that done, you can just then neaten up the packs. We now want to make sure that each pack contains one of the selected cards. So we're going to show the cards to the spectators. And we're going to start with the first pack over here and show these to the first spectator. So we're just going to display the cards like so to the first spectator, asking them to keep an eye out for their card. Remember, in this instance, that's the 7 of clubs. Not to let us know when they see it, but just to look for it and to confirm that it's somewhere amongst these cards. So just fan through the cards like so. And once you've fanned through the cards, just ask the spectator to confirm whether they've seen it. In this case, they have. That's great. We can just paste these cards back to the table. You're now going to do the same with the second spectator, asking them to confirm that their card is in the second pack here. So once again, you're just going to display the cards like this to the second spectator, asking them to keep an eye out for their card. Remember, it's the 8 of hearts in this instance. Not to let you know when they see it, but just to keep an eye out for it amongst the pack. And once you've fanned through all of the cards, you can just ask them to confirm whether they've seen their card. In this instance, they'll confirm they have, and you can just return this pack to the table. So we now know that each of these packs contains one of the selected cards, and you can reiterate that those selections were totally random cards at totally random positions. However, here's the strange thing. You're now going to ask the first spectator to take the pack containing their card, so that's this pack over here, and to deal cards counting the cards until they get to their selected card. So remember, in this instance, it's the 7 of clubs. So they're just going to deal down cards counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. The 7 of clubs, their selected card, is the 18th card. You're now going to invite the second spectator to take the pack containing their card and to deal down to exactly the same number, 18. So they'll deal cards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, with the 18th card being placed just here. You can now invite the second spectator to remind everybody of their selected card. Of course, it was the 8 of hearts. And now you can reveal that despite the random dealing and selections, the 18th card over here just so happens to be the second spectator's card, the 8 of hearts. Okay, so let's take a look at the secret to this effect. Now, you really do start with a shuffled deck, and that's what adds to the impact. Now, you're going to hand the deck to the first spectator and ask them to deal a number of cards to the table. Now, as they're dealing, you're secretly and silently going to count the number of cards. So let's say they deal 11 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You now want the spectator to look at and remember a selected card. Now, if they've dealt an odd number of cards, you're going to ask them to take a look at the last card dealt here. If they've dealt an even number of cards, you're going to ask them to take a look at the next card here. In this instance, they've dealt 11 cards, an odd number, so they're going to look at this card here, and remember this is their selected card. So we can see here the ace of clubs. They'll place their selected card on top of the dealt cards, and then the rest of the deck on top, like so. At this point, you're also going to calculate your key number. Now, you do this simply by taking the number of cards dealt, 11, and dividing that by 2. So 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. You're going to drop the 0.5 and round down to 5. Another example, if the spectator dealt 12 cards, 12 divided by 2 is 6, and that would be your key number. In this instance, our key number is 5. You're now going to ask the second spectator to do exactly the same, to take the deck and to deal a random number of cards to the table. Now, this time you don't need to count, it doesn't matter. Ask the spectator to take the last card dealt and remember that as their selected card. So here we can see the 2 of hearts, to place that back onto the pack, and then the rest of the deck on top, like so. And with that done, you can ask them to give the deck one complete cut. Now, it's important to note that for this trick to work, the total number of cards dealt by both spectators needs to be less than 52, the number of cards in the deck. So you could say to the spectators, in the interest of time, just to deal a few cards, maybe say less than 20, and that should stop them from dealing too many. You're now going to take the deck and divide it into 2 by dealing 2 piles of cards to the table, like so. Now, for the next step, there are 2 scenarios that could happen. You want to confirm that there is one selected card in each of the packs. And here's the first scenario. You're going to take the first pack here and show these cards to the first spectator. And you're going to do that simply just by fanning through the cards like so. And they're going to look for their card. Remember, in this instance, the ace of clubs. And we can see the ace of clubs just there. So in this situation where the first spectator will confirm that their card is in this first packet, you're now secretly just going to count off a number of cards from the top corresponding to your key number. So remember, in this instance, our key number is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're just going to do that casually as part of fanning through the cards. And in confirming that their card is present, you're just casually going to cut these 5 cards to the bottom of the pack as you place the pack back on the table. You'll now show the second pack to the second spectator, asking them just to confirm their card is present. So once again, just fanning through the cards. they'll be looking for the 2 of hearts in this instance, and we can see that just there. You can place these cards back on the table with no transfer of cards taking place. Now that's the first scenario. The second scenario is when you show the first pack to the first spectator and their card isn't in that pack. In that situation, you'll simply just take the second pack and fan through these cards, showing these to the first spectator instead, so they can confirm their card is in these. As part of this, you'd also count some cards from the top, but this time it's going to be your key number plus 1. So in this instance, 5 plus 1, that's 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And once again, you're casually going to separate these and place these to the bottom of the pack in the act of placing the pack back on the table. Now, I won't do that here, obviously. And then you'd also just show the cards in the first pack to the second spectator so they can confirm their card is in these. And once again, you won't transfer any cards. With one of those scenarios complete, you're now ready for the reveals. Ask the first spectator to take the pack containing their card. Remember, in this instance, it's this pack, and ask them to count down dealing until they spot their card. So in this case, that's the Ace of Clubs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 16, 17, 18, 19. There we see the Ace of Clubs, the 19th card. You'll now ask the second spectator to take the pack containing their card and to deal down to exactly the same number, 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 16, 17, 18, 19, placing the 19th card aside just here. All that's left to do now is to reveal that the 19th card over here just happens to be the second spectator's card, the 2 of hearts. And there you have it. Remember, learning tricks like this isn't just about amazing others, it's about building your own courage to take on new challenges. Just like in magic, life is full of surprises and hidden potential. So keep pushing yourself, keep learning, and remember that each skill you conquer brings you closer to facing bigger challenges with courage and positivity. Thanks for joining me today. Until next time, keep the magic alive and take care.